Good evening. These are today's top stories and I'm your host Prasad. Putrajaya has tabled a constitutional amendment bill to introduce an enabling clause for an eventual law that would address lawmakers who switch parties. However, there are those who believe that certain lawmakers should be exempted from the anti-party hopping law.
PN Chief Muhyiddin Yassin has argued that lawmakers should not automatically lose their seats if they are sacked by their parties. Speaking in Dewan Rakyat, Muhyiddin said under the law, even a convicted MP will not lose their seat until all legal avenues are exhausted. However, he said if anti-hopping laws allow the fate of an MP to be decided by their party leadership, then it would be subject to abuse.
Dengan izin, members of parliament who represent the will of the people will be muted and silenced by the cabal who controls a political party. We are putting the interests of a political party first before the people. Oleh demikian, Tuan Yang Pertua, sekiranya rang undang-undang ini diluluskan oleh Dewan Yang Mulia ini, saya ingin mencadangkan supaya ouster clause dalam Seksyen 18C Akta Pertubuhan 1966 dikaji semula untuk memberikan ruang kepada ahli parlimen yang terkesan dengan undang-undang anti lompat parti mendapat keadilan di mahkamah sebelum beliau dikehendaki mengosongkan kursinya.
Meanwhile, Julau MP Larry Sng told the Dewan Rakyat that MPs who win their seat as independents should not be subjected to anti-hopping laws. Sng said if such laws are used to prevent an independent from joining a party midterm, then it would be a violation of constitutional rights to freedom of association.
Atau yang dipertua, mereka sepatutnya diberikan pengecualian. Ini adalah sebab mandate mereka adalah daripada rakyat. Mereka menang atas kerusi dia kerana of their own personal credibility, bukan daripada parti. Bukan mereka guna parti logo, bukan mereka guna slogan ataupun narrative parti, bukan mereka terima funding dari parti, tapi untuk daripada mereka sendiri nama dia.
Nothing about the anti-hopping law was decided in Parliament today, which got some MPs questioning the point of sitting today. However, the Prime Minister has assured that another special session will be held soon.
Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob has pledged to call a second special Dewan Rakyat meeting by the end of next month. According to Pakatan Harapan, this pledge was made during a meeting between Harapan leaders Ismail Sabri and Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jafar. That special meeting will deal with the requisite constitutional amendments and a bill specifically addressing defections by lawmakers. The Harapan Presidential Council said it has informed the government of its position that any amendments to Article 10 of the Federal Constitution must be refined further, and that Article 48(6) also needs to be amended. Article 48(6) disqualifies any person from being a lawmaker for 5 years after that person resigns from being a member of a legislature. The council said during the meeting, it was agreed that all these matters and the draft anti-hopping bill will be scrutinized by a new parliamentary select committee. Meanwhile, opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim called for the constitutional amendment meant to pave the way for an anti-hopping law to be voted on and passed simultaneously with the eventual law.
Oleh demikian, kita juga mengusulkan supaya sesi berikutnya, harapannya lewat-lewatnya sebelum akhir Mei akan datang, saya harap Perdana Menteri memberikan persetujuan tersebut supaya pembentangan pindah perlembagaan ini dilakukan bersama dengan pembentangan rang undang-undang rompat parti ini, supaya kita tahu pindaan ini bermaksud khusus memenuhi maksud kita dalam meminda atau mengadakan rang undang-undang yang baru ini.
Before meeting in Parliament today, lawmakers were in Sri Perdana to break fast with the Prime Minister yesterday. Even Anwar Ibrahim, Lim Kit Siang and Arsene Rear were present.
Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob hosted a breaking of fast ceremony for MPs and senators at Sri Perdana in Putrajaya on Sunday. The event was attended by about 300 guests. Also present were Dewan Rakyat Speaker Azhar Azizan Harun, Dewan Negara President Rais Yatim and Opposition Leader Anwar Ibrahim. Apart from cabinet ministers and government MPs, opposition MPs present included Lim Kit Siang, Anthony Lok Siu Fok, Muhammad Sabu and Teresa Kok. Most of the guests present earlier attended a special briefing on the Constitution Amendment Bill No. 3, 2022, near Seri Perdana. After the event, the Prime Minister performed the Maghrib, Ishaq and Taraweeh prayers with the congregation. Built in 1997, Seri Perdana is the official residence of the Prime Minister of Malaysia.
An alleged bribery involving a GLC has led to the arrest of 9 individuals, including an executive of Petronas Carigali.
MACC today confirmed that it is investigating bribery involving projects owned by Petronas Carigali Sendirian Berhad. It said one of the suspects they have arrested include an executive of the Petronas subsidiary. However, MACC clarified that the Petronas Carigali officer nabbed is not its chief executive officer as claimed by certain quarters. Investigators have also arrested 1 more individual to facilitate a probe into the case since April 8th. This brings the total number of arrests from 8 to 9. On Friday, it was reported that MACC has acquired remand orders against 8 individuals in its probe into alleged bribery involving projects with a total worth of 2.3 billion ringgit. Investigators also seized a number of luxury items, including 10 luxury cars, gold bars and jewelry, 15 luxury watches, 13 handbags, and 27,000 ringgit in cash. On Sunday, Petronas issued a statement confirming that one of its employees had been picked up by MACC for suspected graft and said it is fully cooperating with the MACC.
Soon, Indonesian domestic workers would be a thing of the past, as it is in the process of phasing out Indonesians working as domestic workers.
Indonesia will phase out sending domestic workers to Malaysia who are more vulnerable to abuse and forced labor. This is according to Indonesian ambassador to Malaysia, Hermono. He said Indonesia will focus on sending its citizens to work in Malaysia's formal sector instead. Hermono said his country was not interested in sending large numbers of domestic workers to work in countries where labor abuses frequently went unpunished. The Memorandum of Understanding signed on April 1st by the 2 countries and cited by Malaysia Kini did not indicate an expiration date or enforceable duration. However, Hermono said they will gradually phase out Indonesians working as domestic workers anywhere in the world. Malaysia's treatment of its migrant workforce is already under international scrutiny. With the inking of the MOU on the employment and protection of Indonesian domestic workers in Malaysia, Malaysia's commitment to enforcing the provisions therein will be tested.
A Malaysian writer was brought to Bukit Aman today to be questioned over a recent social media posting.
Writer Uthaya Sangkir SB has been taken to the Bukit Aman Police Headquarters to be interrogated. This is allegedly in connection with a post he had uploaded to his social media. Speaking to Malaysia Kini, he said he may be arrested. On April 8, Uthaya took to social media to lambast actor Aiman Zulkarnain, who was polygamous. In his post, Uthaya associated the practice of polygamy with Prophet Muhammad. He was referring to a Malaysia Kini report on April 6, in which Aiman said he did not want to continue living a polygamous lifestyle. While Aiman was initially confident he could act fairly in his marriages, he said it failed when emotions were involved. Aiman then advised men to not accidentally seek disease. He said that prior to polygamy, he was confident that he could fulfill his responsibilities, including fairness in economic aspects.
Touch and Go's Gopinjam facility has raised some concern. However, Bank Negara does not see a reason to interfere just yet.
Bank Negara Malaysia will not interfere in any retail financing products unless it detects unfair and harmful practices. The central bank said this when asked on Gopinjam, the recently launched microcredit offering via the Touch and Go e-wallet. Gopinjam interest can go up to 36% per annum. Although Malaysia Kini had sought a response from the BNM specifically about Gopinjam, its statement does not mention the product. Instead, the central bank provided a general statement on the obligations of financial service providers and consumers. However, the central bank also urged financial service providers to conduct affordability assessments and observe prudent debt service ratios. It also advised consumers to ensure they can afford future repayments before taking on debt. Earlier, the Federation of Malaysian Consumers Association raised concern over the Gopinjam facility. Its operating officer Saravanan Tabiraja told Malaysia Kini that Bank Negara needs to intervene as it looks like along or unlicensed loan shark services via a digital platform.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Prasad. Thank you for watching.